Hi Year 4 and welcome to your first science lesson of this week. What we're going to think about today is what makes a living thing. So how do we know that something is living? Okay, so although all different things look different to each other, even if they are the same species, there are 7 things that all living things do. And these 7 things are called life processes. A thing is only living if it does all 7 of these life processes. So what we're going to have a look at are the 7 life processes which help you to identify if something is living or not. Okay, so the first thing is that all living things move. Animals move their bodies, from big movements like jumping or small movements like winking. And plants turn or grow towards the light. So although you won't see a plant moving, you will notice that plants do move very slowly. So if you have a plant in your house, you'll notice that if it flowers, the flower will turn to move towards the light. And if you turn the flower and move the flower away from the light, you'll notice a couple of days later that it will again be pointing towards the light. So that's a little investigation that you could maybe do. Okay, so the next process is reproducing. So all living things reproduce, which means that they have babies. So if you think about animals, that's very obvious. We know lots of animals have babies. So here's a picture of an elephant with the baby elephant. We know that humans have babies. All of you guys have been babies in the past. Okay, now plants, you might not think about that so much, but of course they do, because we have plants that grow from seeds. So that is an example of plants reproducing. Okay, so the next life process. All living things are sensitive. So that means living things are sensitive to their surroundings. Animals react to changes in the temperature around them. So if they're cold, they might huddle together. Plants grow towards sunlight and send their roots deeper if they need to find more water. So they're sensitive to temperature or drought. We're sensitive. If somebody pinches us, we can feel it. It hurts us. If we're hot, we need to fan ourselves or we go somewhere cool. If we're cold, we dress up and make sure that we're warmer. So we're sensitive to temperature. Okay, next thing. All living things need nutrition. So living things need food for energy. So we know with our bodies, it's really important to eat nutritious food because that helps us grow and it gives us energy. If we need a boost of energy, we often go for something that's a little bit sugary because it gives us a burst of energy. But we know that we have to eat fruit and vegetables to keep us strong and healthy. Plants make their own food using energy from the sun, and animals eat plants and or other animals to give them nutrition and energy. The next thing that all living things do is they excrete. So plants and animals both need to get rid of waste, gas, and water. Animals also need to get rid of other waste products. And we know what that is, everybody. That's your poo, isn't it? So we have to excrete. We get rid of gas as well that we don't want, so we breathe out carbon dioxide. And plants do exactly the same thing. They get rid of the gases that they don't want, but the gas that they get rid of is oxygen. Okay, so the next thing that all living things need to do is respire. So that is where plants and animals use oxygen in the air to turn food into energy. So we use the oxygen in the air to allow us to breathe so that we can move and use our energy. Plants use the oxygen in the air to turn it into food so that they can grow. So what will you use your energy for today? Maybe some of you have done the Joe Wicks exercise program, or maybe you've been out for a walk or on your bike, or maybe you've been on the trampoline. Okay, and the final thing is that all living things do is that they grow. So young animals grow into adults and plant seedlings grow into mature plants. Okay, so here we go. Here are the 7 things that all living things have to do to be living. M, movement. R, reproduction. S, sensitivity. N, nutrition. E, excretion. R, respiration. G, growth. And if you look at those, they've got the acronym Mrs. NERG. So you are going to have a little task now, which is where I would like you to find somebody else in your house who can help you to draw Mrs. NERG, and I'd like you to write down all the different things that Mrs. NERG stands for. So the M standing for movement, that all living things have to move. R, that all living things reproduce. S, that all living things have sensitivities. N, that all living things need nutrition in order to survive. E, that all living things excrete. R, that all living things respire. And G, that all living things grow. Okay, that's it for your science lesson for today. Bye.